आइए आज के इस प्रोग्राम का शुभारंभ ऋग्वेद में आने वाले इस शांति मंत्रों के साथ करते हैं। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। कनिक्रदज्जनुषं प्रब्रुवाण इयरति वाचमरिते वनावं सुमङ्गलश्च शकुने भवासि मात्वा काचिदभिभाविष्व्या विदत मात्वाश्येन उदुपधीन्मासु पर्णो मात्वा विदधिषु मान् वीरो अस्ता पित्र्यामनुप्रदिशङ्कनिक्रदत्सु मङ्गलो भद्रवादी वदेहा अवक्रन्ददक्षिणतो गृहाणां सुमङ्गलो भद्रवादी शकुन्ते मानस्तेन ईशतमाघशं सो बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम एट AICT न्यू दिल्ली की ओर से योग कर्मसु कौशलम इस वेबिनार श्रृंखला में सभी का मैं स्वागत करता हूं। आई वेलकम टू all the dignitaries and all the members of various institutions who have joined this webinar of the YouTube or webinar series on the theme Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. So विशेष रूप से मैं यहाँ पर स्वागत कर रहा हूँ हमारे आज के मेन स्पीकर डॉक्टर एस महेश गुरुक्कल जी, जो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर है अगस्त्यम इंटरनेशनल से। उसी के साथ मैं यहाँ पर स्वागत करता हूँ आज के हमारे चेयरपर्सन डॉक्टर रमेश उन्नीकृष्णन जी, जो हमारे परिवार का ही एक भाग है, जो एडवाइज़र है AICT में। इसी के साथ इस वेबिनार में जुड़ने वाली हमारे IKS डिवीज़न के कोऑर्डिनेटर्स डॉक्टर अनुराधा जी तथा श्री सोमनाथ दानायक जी तथा हमारे असिस्टेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर अनुराग जी, सभी का तथा अनेक इंस्टीट्यूशंस से और अलग अलग विभागों से जुड़े हुए सभी IKS जिज्ञासुओं का मैं इस वेबिनार में स्वागत करता हूँ। यह वेबिनार हम लोगों ने प्रारंभ किया था भारत की प्राचीन गौरव और परंपरा जो योग के आधार पर मोक्ष की ओर बढ़ रही है, तो इस योग को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए और इसमें आने वाले अलग अलग वैशिष्ट्यों को सबके सामने रखने के लिए we reach to the experts of yoga, and while going through the series of webinar we have conducted 2 webinars and now this is the third webinar. In our first webinar we discussed about Bhagavad Gita and yoga. In our second webinar we discussed about Ayurveda and yoga, how Maharshi Charak contributed in the field of Ayurveda. तो उसके बारे में डॉक्टर राम मनोहर जी ने हमें उद्बोधित किया था और फर्स्ट वेबिनार में श्री AB शुक्ला जी ने हमें गीता और योग के बारे में मार्गदर्शन किया था। इसी श्रृंखला को आगे लेकर हमारे आज के चेयरपर्सन उन्नीकृष्णन जी और हमारे आज के मेन स्पीकर जो है डॉक्टर एस महेश जी, जो अगस्त्य इंटरनेशनल से है और हमारे IKS सेंटर के PI भी है, तो उनसे हम लोग आज योगा डायमेंशंस ऑफ कलारी विद अ फोकस ऑन अगस्त्य एज इट्स फाउंडर इस टॉपिक के ऊपर चर्चा करने के लिए, उनसे उद्बोधन प्राप्त करने के लिए इस वेबिनार में एकत्रित हुए हैं। ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं हमारे असिस्टेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर अनुराग जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि कृपया वे हमारे चेयरपर्सन डॉक्टर उन्नीकृष्णन जी का परिचय दें।
धन्यवाद श्रेयस जी। It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Ramesh Unnikrishnan ji. He holds his bachelor's in mechanical engineering, master's in engineering management, PhD in management, PhD in education, a diploma in education management from the Executive Global System, Harvard University, and has about 40 publications in his credit. He has authored 3 books and contributed chapters to 7 books in the field of education with globally renowned publishers. He has one international patent granted and 5 patents published in his credit. He has been awarded Doctor of Letters by Lincoln University, Malaysia, based upon the contributions made in the field of education. And presently, he heads the Policy and Academic Planning Bureau, SWAYAM, and Parliament Cell at AICT headquarters in New Delhi. Apart from this, he's a wonderful human being and a true follower of Indian knowledge system. So I welcome you, sir, and I request you to please address the gathering.
Yeah. So namaste. Thank you, Shesh ji. Thank you, Anurag ji. Thank you, Anuradha ji, and all the team members of IKS. Myself, Ramesh Unnikrishnan. Thank you for the introduction by Anurag ji. Really excited to the entire public, like IKS and AICT are working by joining hands together. We share the same premises and we all sharing the same thought. So when got an opportunity from IKS to chair one of its session, I was so happy and without a hesitation told yes, because I find myself as a true follower and want to be one among the torchbearers. Like IKS should be the talk for the entire world in the years to come. And also regarding today's topic, that is yoga dimensions on Kalari with focus on Agasthya as its founder. So I think among the group present over here, I was much privileged to visit Maheshji's organization in person. Even though it was an accidental visit, I was actually in nearby his premises for an IST function. So I got a request from Maheshji and Dr. Arun. He spare few minutes and visit one organization nearby, and you'll really get enlightened. So me and the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kerala Technological University, we thought, okay, after the program, surely we should go and see Maheshji's organization. Just went for 5 minutes and we left the premises only after 2 hours. That was the level of positivity when we just stepped onto his organization. We don't know from where, that is whether in the heart of the city, how he's maintaining that system, that to precisely following what our culture was, and what is the what do you mean by Kalaripetu and why is it so divine, and the role of Agastya Muni. And just like when it is in the heart of Trivandrum city, and when we enter his gate, then it's just like maybe we are about 50 to 75 years back. We are going to a village, and that positivity, even all that floorings, that colorings and everything, it was just, we can't imagine. That was a level of energy we got from there, and he and his team has given some demonstration using some students, like how best the students are doing and what are the good things, what is the importance of concentration, how your Kalaripetu can be treated as a part of our routine. So the see, health is a primary concern. Like finally, we all will be happy if we are getting a good sleep in the night. All things we are doing, like we should live peacefully. Okay, so that how Kalaripetu can contribute to it. It was a real eye opener. And thank you so much, IKS, for giving me an opportunity to introduce Maheshji, because I really take it as a privilege. Maheshji, thank you for accepting the request from IKS Division and AICT to chair today's session. So just in few lines, I'm giving a small introduction about Maheshji. Dr. S. Mahesh, the Managing Director of Agasthyam International. He is the son of legendary Kalari Master and Siddha expert Sri Sanal Kumarji. He is an Indian television producer, an ad filmmaker, author, media person, Kalaripetu expert, and a yoga guru. He is a native of Nemam in Trivandrum district. In the visual media career spanning of 2 decades, he has worked with major television channels like Surya TV, Zee TV, and Kaumudi TV. He is currently the Chief Programming Officer for Kaumudi TV, the television channel of the Kerala Kaumudi Media Group. Kerala Kaumudi Group is one among the oldest media tycoons of Kerala, strictly adhering on to the culture and aesthetics of the state and the culture. So that's all about Mahesh ji. And it's my request to all present over here. Like obviously you are going to be enlightened with today's session. But if possible, whenever you have a plan to visit to southern part of India, find your time and go and see what is happening there. It's really wonderful, and we can see like such things are happening in the true spirit in our country even today. We speak about digital India, we speak about big things like India is getting transformed and everything, but if our root is strong, then everything is possible, right? And gurus like Mahesh ji is working hard to ensure like the root is getting strong. So that's all from my end. I think all the audience present over here will be eagerly waiting to hear from Mahesh ji. And Mahesh ji, I don't know whether it is apt to ask you, if possible, one small demonstration also you should give to all these people, using your students, so that let it be a motivation for others also to come and see what is it. And this is IKS, this is Indian knowledge system.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'll try, because I'm not much prepared for that, but I'll try if Vishnu Ashan is there somewhere.
You shouldn't say like you need preparation, okay?
No need of
When we
preparation.
visited there, it was totally unprepared, and the way you did it. I mean, I saw the seeing is believing, right?
Because,
So all of us will be in addition to your motivational and your sharing of your knowledge through your speech, some one or two tips if you could show to the public, so that seeing is believing, right? So it's my request from ASCT and IKS. In the end, if time permits, kindly do spare 5 minutes so that we all will get much more energized. Okay. So with this, I wind up my speech on this and eagerly awaiting to hear from Mahesh ji. Thank you, Anuradha ji, and thank you, Team IKS, for giving an opportunity to introduce Mahesh. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So
yeah, thank you very much, sir. So I request Dr. Mahesh sir to address the gathering.
Thank you. So am I audible? Okay. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So namaskaram. Today I would like to talk about yoga dimensions of Kalari, with a focus on Agasthya as its founder. We always say Kalari Paitu as a dynamic yoga. We are expressing this art, this beautiful ancient art form, as a dynamic yoga, because we can compare both yoga and Kalaripayat. The ultimate aim of Kalaripayat is to attain great control over your mind, maybe getting ultimate focus to life. The aim is same, to control the chitta vritti, chattering of your conscious mind. Chitta vritti always leads to fear. When fear comes to life, misery begins. And it's said that the root cause of all miseries comes from fear. So the practice of Kalari creates a fearless mind. As yogic thoughts say, and even Swami Vivekananda said that fear is the root cause of all the miseries in the world. And fearlessness gives you a great sense of clarity over life and a very high perspective to experience the life as it is. Because of these factors, we call Kalari Paitu as a dynamic yoga. As we all know, yoga is the perfect lifestyle art for a complete life. That we say yoga marga, or the way of yoga, equips one to face any adversities in life. That's why Patanjali Maharshi, in his work Yoga Sutras, refers to yoga as chitta vritti nirodhaka. That is through Ashtanga Yoga. Kalaripayattu, in spite of being a popular form of martial arts, too follows the same path of controlling the mind, or chitta vritti. So if we look at it closely, the ultimate teaching of both the art is focus, and through it, ultimate salvation, or mukti. So on one side, yoga brings all the functions of mind to oneness, a state which is referred to as samadhi. In Tamil, we say adikya sama, that means equal to the supreme. Or we can say samadhi, that means equal to the supreme consciousness. The same way, Kalaripayattu brings mind to ultimate focus, which will create a focused, fearless mindset. As Ashtanga Yoga, a yogi will practice, that is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Same like that, a Kalari practitioner has to go through the same process to reach the ultimate point of focused mind, and in which pranayama is an important part of Ashtanga Yoga. It strengthens our breath, or we can say prana, through which energy sources are activated and strengthened. Kalaripayattu, especially by the Agasthyam Kalari, knows the importance of prana and utilizes breath to its fullest capacity to enhance the energy source. So this is another notable comparison between yoga and Kalaripayattu. Hatha Yoga Pradipika explains about the transformations achieved by a sadhaka while doing the practice. So it says, Vapu Krishatvam, Vadane Prasannam, Nada Spudatvam, Nayane Sunarmala, Arogada, Bindu Jaya Agni Deepanam, Nadi Vishuddhir Hatha Yoga Lakshana. So a Hatha Yogi is physically fit with a pleasant face. He'll have a clear voice, clear eyes, and will have a sound health. He'll have control over emotions and experiencing good digestion, purified nadis or channels. That is the slogan says that Vapu Krishatva, Vadane Prasannam, Nada Spudatvam, Nayane Sunarmala, Arogata, Bindu Jaya Agni Deepanam, Nadi Vishuddhir, Hatha Yoga Lakshana. So Kalaripayattu practitioners also get similar benefits from practicing Kalaripayattu. The strong, fearless leaders emerged from this system. Martial arts like Kalaripayattu are essential to create a fearless world of calm, alert, and aware minds. Today, the world has acknowledged yoga as a natural lifestyle. While yoga was the greatest contribution of Bharat to the world for an effective natural lifestyle, Kalaripayattu, the greatest lifestyle sprung from the South India, is that we are practicing here now. And here we practice, for example, Agasthyam. According to Hatha Yoga Pradipika, age is not a problem, and that exactly the way of Agasthya, that our Kalari is executing Kalaripayattu. So according to Hatha Yoga Pradipika, anyone, any healthy condition can learn yoga. Maybe you can say irrespective of age or any other health or mental conditions. So we follow the same principle in imparting Kalari lessons. Yoga says, Yuva Vrutha Ativrthova Vyathito Durbalo Vipa. That means yoga can be practiced in any physical condition. Maybe he'll be a Vriddha or Ativriddha or Vyathipa. Anyone can practice. So yoga and Kalaripayattu can say are secular in nature. It's beyond any religion or any politics or anything. Men around the world have recognized yoga as a means to uplift human being. It enhances various qualities in oneself. yoga is now universally accepted. Similarly, Kalaripayat's scope will soon be universal. We are trying for that. So yoga's dynamic form could be claimed as Kalari's application techniques. Using energy at a different level is Kalaripayat's uniqueness. So now we'll learn about the guru of Kalari, especially the southern style. And his name is Agasthya, or sage Agasthya. So who is Agasthya? Agasthya is the father of Kalaripayat as well as one of the Sapta Rishis who preached the Shiva Yoga Margam to the south. So we learned Yogam and Kalari from a single guru, that is Agasthya himself. So let me introduce Agasthya. In all streams of ancient Indian wisdom, Agasthya appears in Vedas, including the oldest Rig Veda, the epics, the Upanishads, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas refer to him. And Agasthya shines as a bright beacon of wisdom beyond ages. In the Puranas, we find Agasthya born as Pulastya's son. He also takes birth as Vasishtha's twin, born to Mitra and Varuna, or Mitra and Varuna, yes. Agastya's contributions appear in text as diverse as Varaha Purana, Agastya Samhita, maybe Skanda Purana, the Dvaita Nirnaya Tantra, and a lot of text actually. As he was born from a pot or kumbha, he has several names like Kumbha Muni, Kumbha Sambhava, Kumbhatmaja, Kalashaja, and Kumbhayoni. He is also titled Mana or Manya. Several epic tales have come down to us about him. There is an interesting story when the 330 million gods attending Lord Shiva's wedding upset the balance of the earth. So Agastya was tasked to move to other edge of the world to restore the balance. So we can see the entire divine forces on one side is balanced by the dwarf sage on the other. In another story, we find Agastya drinking up the entire ocean. He is always doing superhuman activities. Elsewhere, he tricks the ever-growing proud Vindhya mountain range to bend down and stay down. So, like I said, all superhuman achievements attributed to this sage. From the original Tamil grammar work called Agathiyam to the foundational text of Kalaripayattu, maybe Varmakale, that is the pressure point techniques, and maybe about Siddha Vaidya, Nadi Jyotisha, Marma Shastra. Everywhere we can see Agastya, and who has left his indelible mark, actually. So how was his name survived through the ages? Surprisingly, the answers to that question kept revealing. For me, each pilgrimage to Agasthyarkudam, which is believed as Agastya's abode, reveals new insights. It's very much near to, it's in Trivandrum and very much near to my home. And I had trekked 26 times to his abode, which is the second largest peak in Kerala. So how does Agastya continue to influence 4,000 years after Kali Yuga? It was astonishing to realize that he is worshipped around the world. Agastya is revered in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, maybe Japan, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore as a patron saint of Shaiva belief system. The museums in these countries have ancient statues and idols of Agasthya in various appearances. If we search Agasthya statue in Google, we will not find a Agasthya statue in Indian look. Most of them are having something like Mongolian look or maybe Chinese look. So he's revered all over the world. The name Agasthya is derived from the root ach, which means radiantly bright or shine. Agasthya is the pure light which cleanses thoughts. Because the first step of yogic practices or spiritual practices is to purify your thoughts. So whatever you think will manifest around you in some time, in very short time. So the purification of thought is very much important. And the word Agasthya itself denotes the purifier of thoughts. And there is another explanation to his name, Agam. Agam means static or stationary like a mountain. And Gam means moving. So Agasthyam thus implies the one who can move mountains. It is surprising that Maori tribes of New Zealand consider that Agastya star, that is Canopus, to be an enlightened guru. They have named the star as Ariki, Atuthai, Amothai Tapu, and these all words similar to Agasthya. And we know that Chinese worship three stars, Fuk, Luk, and Shao, that represents Brihaspati, Vasishtha, and Agastya. So I am referring Agastya's name in Agastya's global presence. And we can see the Iranian word Gasti. Gasti means sin, and therefore Agasti is the remover of sin. And Agastya Paruva, which is written in Javanese, is all about Agastya. So we'll be wondering, how does one sage become so popular across such vast geographics and beyond enormous time? So with my studies, I came to one answer, and that is Canopus star. There we can refer Agasthya as a saint who created the Tamil grammar, maybe the 96 granthas about yogam, jnanam, maybe the pressure points, marma shastras, Kalari, and all that things. There is a human touch is there, but at the same time, all around the world, people worshipped the Canopus star, that is Alpha Carinae, as Agasthya star. And the Canopus star is the eternal brilliant star that rises in the southeast sky. Population across the globe worship it. The Canopus or Agasthya Kumbhaja star, which shines 310 light years away from the Earth, estimated to be 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Indian astronomical text had identified this star as early as 500 AD. Maybe in Parashara Tantra, Surya Siddhanta, they all repeatedly mention about Agastya star. So the star was looked as a guru that brings light into the darkness of ignorance. So why does India have so many Agastya ashrams or Agastya tirthas? Recently, I went to Badami in Karnataka. So there is a big Agastya tirtham was there in Badami, near the Badami cave temple. You can see Agastya tirthas all around India. So we should think, why does India have so much Agastya ashrams? What is behind the legendary South Indian migration of Agasthya. I had mentioned a story that Agasthya crossed Vindhya and traveled to the south. There is a story there. So what is the connection between that, the Canopus star and the real Agasthya? So all these questions are connected to the Canopus. Recently, two archaeochemistry researchers, that is, one is Rupa Bhatti and one is Nilesh Oak. They have revealed how the movement of Milky Way had led the star's migration. If Agasthya was visible from Kurukshetra, that is 25,000 years back, Agasthya was visible in Kurukshetra, but now it is not visible from there. Today, it has crossed the Vindhya mountains and it is visible only from the South India. In the epic Ramayana, while searching for Sita, Hanuman converses with Sugriva and he mentioned about Agasthya star and maybe about Agastya Kudam, this our the abode of Agastya, the Agastya peak. Sugriva says, Agasthya uttare tatra sagare viniveshita chitrasanu naga shriman mahendra parvadotama tamra upeti sahasraksha sada parvasu parvasu. Sugriva talks about a beautiful, florally rich mountain in the south. It's called Mahendragiri. When you reach it, you can see Agasthya. The thousand-eyed Indra is always there. So it refers to the Canopus and Sirius stars. When I traveled last time, I witnessed both these stars shining over the peak of Agasthya there. So in those times, stars were our navigators and guides. And we can see Agasthya in Ramayana, Mahabharata also. Lord Rama get blessed by Agasthya upon reaching Agasthya Ashram. And maybe Agasthya advised Rama about this mantra, that Aditya Hridaya mantra. And in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna says that Somanath will be blessed as Agastya Tirtha because of Agastya's sighting. So he was actually, whenever literature starts, Agastya was there. And it is believed that sage Agastya is the founder of southern style of Kalari, Varmakalai, and Yoga Margam to the south. Maybe you had heard about Adi Yogi teaching the Sapta Rishis about yoga, and Agastya was one of the Sapta Rishi. And in southern Kalari style, we think that all knowledge comes from Shiva, and Shiva teach this knowledge to Parvati, and Parvati to Muruga, and Muruga gave this knowledge to Agastya. So the Varmakalai, that is the pressure point techniques used in Kalari Paitu, was taught by Agastya himself. So from these literatures, we can think that martial arts have the signature of Agastya in it. The moment we talk about martial art, the thought of Kung Fu, Karate, or many more recently popular, maybe Tai Chi, comes to our mind. But much older than all these martial art forms are the ones that were developed in India. And of course, they were developed by none other than sage Agastya himself. Two of the oldest continuously practiced martial art in South India are the Kalari Paitu and Silambam. Silambam, it is said to have originated through Agastya himself. This system of martial art predominantly used sticks. Maybe historical references to this martial art go back to Sangam literature. And it is said to have been practiced since the 4th century. The name Silambam comes from the bamboo staff used for this martial art. But this system of martial art also uses other weapons, including knives, swords, sweeps, etc. And now about Kalari 2. This ancient system is again personal to me since I came from a traditional Kalari 2 family. I am a 5th generation martial artist. My great grandfather Krishna was an extraordinary exponent of Chundani Viral Marma Vidya, a technique that is used to immobilize the opponent with yogic powers that we call as, we will regularly we say it as Meiti Inda Kala, that without touching the body. So it is possible. So my father is a legendary Kalari master and Siddha expert. His name is Sanal Kumar Gurukal, and I started practicing at the age of 5 at home itself. So I have been practicing for over 3.5 decades. And we follow the Tekkan Kalari system, which is said to have originated through Agasthya himself. The credit of developing the northern style called Vadakkan Kalari is given to Parashurama. So about Kalari, the word Kalari means school, and Paitu means the battlefield or training ground or something like that. So it was a martial art form designed to be used in the battlefield or to help maybe for the self-defense, you can say. Since it is originally designed for use on the battlefield, Kalari 2 employs weapon as well as hand-to-hand combat. So students go through the initial training of different combat techniques before they are trained to spar with partners. Kalari 2 uses different types of weapons, including swords, sticks, and maybe urumi. Urumi is one of the weapon that is unique in India. It's a long, flexible, and slender weapon. So what set these martial art forms apart is the inherent devotional vein. Nothing that comes from ancient India is devoid of divinity or some form of spirituality. We must remember that nothing in life is ever apart from spirituality, even if we modern folk have forgotten all that things. So another feature of the martial art, which makes very unique, is that the students are trained to pinpoint the vital points in the body, known as marmam points. So sage Agasthya had identified 108 vital points in the human body. Of these, 64 are considered lethal if struck at the exact point. Agastya's work on Marma Kannadi, maybe Nyarambara Shastram, Marma Nidanam, and maybe some 34 works out of 94 discuss about Kalari and Varma Kalai. So Kalari training is not confined to martial arts alone. Massages are often given to students learning this martial art form to increase flexibility and treat muscular injuries. And Kalari is the only one martial art in the world which has treatment methods incorporated. And it was a core education system of ancient South India. So it absolutely it is essential to develop a balanced body-mind complex and a harmony in life. It is the main reason that Agasthyam, we innovated the Naludal practice, which is a Kalari-based fitness routine that people anywhere in the world at any age can undergo. It's something like yoga, and maybe what I had said, it is something like yoga in action, we can say. So it was the core education system in ancient Kerala. If we refer the ancient Buddhist text, we can see that Kerala was considered the land of very healthy and strong people. Men and women tremendously benefited from Kalari training and started at a young age for all in those times. So Kalari practice has been helping me and all our trainers and trainees maintain their health, physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Kalari provides you with awareness. Most important is alertness and mindfulness, along with quicker reflexes, which helps with stress-free living and rejuvenation. So, man is a learning animal. Man tries to learn about the whole world. So he wants to understand the whole universe, but about people, maybe gadgets, films, etc., etc. So we have so many opportunities and mediums for learning today. So, but how many actually learn about their own self? So that is the most important learning. How much can I understand this universe? Can I evolve more? Are we learning this? Reflecting or contemplating about this? How much can I expand my thinking capacity or intellect? Will come to think about it. How many think if they are even breathing correctly? Actually, we have forgotten how to breathe. How many sitting here can confidently say that they breathe correctly? If I ask you, what are the bare necessities or needs of life? Immediately you will answer food, water, and shelter, etc., right? But is that the fundamental necessity of life? Even before food and shelter is required, the fundamental building block of life is breath, swasa, what we call as prana. Prana is the name our ancients have given to breath. When prana is lost, we become jeta or dead body. So our birth begins with breath and life ends with last breath. Life exists between these two. So breathing is the foundation or fundamental necessity of life. Just as breathing influences our health and lifespan, it affects our mind and emotions also very deeply. We can test it anytime. You can take a long breath. You can feel the calming down of the mind. Have you observed babies and kids cry? They sob. They make their gasp. Why? It settles the sadness, emotion through breath. Similarly, anger has a breathing rhythm. Fear has its own breathing pattern. So thus breathing is deeply linked to emotions. And Hatha Yoga Pradipika says, Chale vate, chalam chittam, nischale nischalam bhavet. That means when respiration is disturbed, mind is disturbed. By controlling respiration, we can control the mind. Bhagavad Gita says, Yatro paramade chittam, niruddham yoga sevayat. If we consider breathing to be life skills, then obviously there's very little in our education to help with it. We do not have the time or orientation to think about how to develop our vital capacities. So the learning of life skills is important. How does Kalari to help here? Along with defense techniques, it teaches us how to live. It teaches us life skills, helps us towards warrior mindset, which I say to be like fearless, to face crisis, to lead a society, to respect our enemy. Kalaris used to teach these. So let us examine these skills. That one is warrior mindset. Second one is fearless mind, and third is awareness. So what is warrior mindset? The warrior has to fight under all circumstances to help his or her society. That is the dharma. It does not mean walking around with swords and shields today or physically fighting. But leaders are those who face all kinds of situations in life without panicking or flattering. A leader is in fact a warrior. A warrior is focused, he'll be disciplined, he'll be aggressive. He fights not for themselves, but for others. That is the most important thing. If we examine the history of Kalaris, we'll find that heroes and heroines, maybe Veeras and Veeranganas, come from among warriors and defend their society. Over time, they are transformed into gods and are worshipped. It is part of our culture. There was a Veera Yuga, and it is praised and proclaimed in the Sangam literature. You can just Google it about, Google about Veerakal or hero stones, and you will find what is Veera Yuga and the hero stones. This is a strength given by Kalari. It is the extraordinary skill to face life battles. So next point is fearlessness. For a warrior mindset, we need to be fearless. So fearlessness brings clarity to life. It brings courage to move ahead in life. Each practice of Kalari brings about the fearless attitude. Pains and injuries does not bother us. It is the training for such an attitude. It is the training for such an attitude. Let us the storm come or thunder rumble, we can stand straight and fight. That is the mental strength Kalari provides. Next one is awareness. Kalari Piety is the more than just a martial art. It has an equal spiritual element about our consciousness. It's a path for getting to know ourselves. Knowing ourselves is knowing all of creation. That is the most powerful knowledge we can attain. It is sharper than any weapon. As we know, ignorance is cowardice. Knowledge is power. So awareness will liberate you. Immortality comes through sharing this knowledge. That is how Buddha, Agasthya, Shankaracharya, Swami Vivekananda, and other spiritual giants continue to live in us beyond time. And for the conclusion, I can say, evolution of Kalari Piety is, maybe Kalari Piety is considered the oldest martial art form in the world. Around 2000 years of history is documented. Sangham literature, works like Agam Padal, Puram Padal, Tirumurugattupade, etc. mentions Kalari Piety. So the basic practices begin with Chuvadagal or steps with full body movements. Then we move into Kaipuru, that is bare hand fighting. Then further studies take us to weapon training like knife or katar, kuruvadis, that is short sticks, neduvadi, long sticks, the axe, the sword and shield, and that flexible weapon that I had mentioned, urumi. After this, we will start studying about the marmas, the 108 marmasthanas or pressure points in the body. So it's a deep knowledge. Then we move on to the marma chikilsa or siddha chikilsa treatment or healing systems. So it's a well-rounded education. And that I mentioned that Kalari is the only martial art form in the world with its own treatment and healing system. So it's a martial art, not just to protect the society, but also for the health and wellness of the society. It's about caring the people, and that is unique to Kalari Piety. And you know, there are a lot of studies says that Kalari Piety is, especially the southern style of Kalari Piety, is the mother of all martial arts. The Paramaguru of Zen Buddhism, that is Bodhidharma, who is can be said as one of the siddha that we consider when we talk about Buddhism. We said we will refer Bodhidharma as a siddha. He took this martial art to Shaolin temples in 5th century. And maybe you know he was a Pallava prince from the South India. So he had written I Ching Jing, Zenzai Jing, which later became Shaolin, Zu, Kempo Karate, Kung Fu, Sil art, and inspired many more martial arts. So Kalarippayattu was the pulse of Kerala that influenced the entire society. The defense, wellness, and educational aspect of Kalari weaved lives together. It was the basis of strength and beauty. So strong, fearless leaders emerged from this system. So martial art like Kalarippayattu are essential to create a fearless world of calm, alert, and aware minds. When mind is controlled, everything will fall in your own way. That I talked earlier also about this Taittiriya Upanishad, which refers about which have a chapter that is Bhrigu Valli. It says about controlling your mind and all. That may be the quest to search about the Atman and all that things. And it concludes something like this. That is, Annavan Annato Bhavati, Mahan Bhavati, Pashunam Prajabhir, Brahmavarsena Mahan Kirtya. That means when you have control over your mind, what will you get? Annavan Annato Bhavati means when you have control over your mind, or when you master your mind, you will get a good body. Mahan Bhavati, you will become a great person. Pashunam, the wealth will come to you. Prajabhir, like-minded people will come to you. And Brahmavarsena, Mahan Kirtya, then you will become a glorified one. So what we have to do is we have to practice the mind and the body, maybe the body-mind complex. And it's a long process. And when we go deep into this, the path is clear. Kalari is yoga itself. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for giving such a lot of knowledge and various dimensions of yogas and Kalariyapattu. So we'll move ahead.
So can I show something?
I was about to ask you. My
Yes, sir,
request
please.
was pending. Okay, you are not mentioning
So,
about.
so there is Vishnu Ashan. I'll introduce one on my student. His name is Vishnu. He's one of the Ashan here. So he will show one Maypaitu. That is a complex movement, maybe the flexibility movement, which you can see a lot of yogic practices of yoga movements inside this, which regularly our kids are doing this for flexibility, maybe endurance aspects. Okay. So can we observe? We have limitation because we are doing it with the what do you call webcam camera. So I'll show you how a Maypaitu the performance of Maypaitu and maybe how it resembles yoga, right? Okay, 1 second. Um, okay, right. All right, you can start. Can you come near? He was actually roaming around. I just called him to do. So we are always ready to do anything.
Adbhutam, I think. Would you like to also show us a video, Maheshji?
Which one?
Arunji was saying he might show some video or something like that. Is there something that you have? Not.
I didn't actually know. I am not much prepared about that.
All
But
right,
I can show you how the pressure points works. Can I show you?
Sure.
So. We have a chapu. So. So this is Shiva. So I'll show you how pressure points works, and maybe somebody stands like this. That means that knife, right? So if somebody stands, what we can do is we can take this like this. Because his hand, you can see, it's not functioning, right? So I'll show you another one. You can take it like this. Because this part is arrested. See that? And even with 2 fingers, I can take him down also. For example, I can take him down. So it's so simple. Yeah.
जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच सर फॉर दिस डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस। आपको लगता है वो सिंपल है, लेकिन उसके पीछे भी बहुत बड़ी तपश्चर्या है, ये हम जान सकते हैं।
Yes, yes.
निश्चित ही। तो मैं yes sir, please.
Huh? Sharing video. Which video? Okay. So we have a video actually. They will share. They will share.
Yes sir, please.
IK Center in Trivandrum, we had done a internal championship. So we'll share that video also. Our Agasthyam students only participated.
Okay.
One second.
Yes.
Ready. They are sharing. Got it. This, I think, this is the. I'll close you. Share a lot. Yes, this was the state championship, our participation in the state championship that you had seen. But I'll share that. Got it? 1 minute. We need actually 1 minute, so we can talk something right on in between. We need 1 minute actually to
Yes, sir. No
set
issues.
up, set up. Yeah.
Radhaji, we have any provision, like if any audience wants to ask any questions, they can ask?
Yeah.
Is that with provision? So we should have opened the
Yes,
if somebody has any doubt.
on the chat.
Yeah, on the chat, if somebody wants to.
Yes. Mahesh, if you could also kindly share the link for what you just now showed, because I'm not so sure if it got streamed on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah,
So if you
maybe.
could kindly share the link, then we'll just put it up as well
Yeah.
for those who'd like to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
In any case, I would highly recommend that all our audience and those who will watch in the future also visit the Agasthyam website and benefit from the multiple videos that you're putting on so many different subjects.
Yeah.
I think very informative links are there, very informative videos are there on various aspects. Yes. Dr. Ramesh, would you like to say a few words? And then, I mean, there are questions, of course, but in the meanwhile, while the questions come, if you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, so Dr. Maheshji, thank you so much. It was wonderful indeed. And
Thank you.
And since I saw it in person, I know how important it was. Okay. So sir, we would like to actually we also wanted to know like whether any tips or any simple activities that every student of AICTE approved institution should practice as a routine, something you could suggest, so that would have been a great, because nowadays the pursuing a higher education means it is the students are facing a lot of stress, lot of tension, they are time bound, competition here and there. So something that could help, because I think with my limited knowledge, the Kalari 2 and its aspects, it's mainly it delivers a high level of concentration for the students, if I'm right. That was
Sure.
what I observed when I visited there. So something that you could, because in the today's life, the students are too much IT savvy. Okay, 24 hours, but if they are awake for 16 hours, out of that 11 hours, they are on to gadget, either to laptop or to mobile, and also the amount of stress they are having, the amount of competition they are having, and with all these things, how to get themselves tuned.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
if you could share, that would have been a great help for the technical education fraternity itself.
Sure. Before that, our internal championship video that you can see our students only. That is our something like 150 students or 200 students participated. Only inside IKS and Agastya. So they are going to be the torch bearers of this system. Maybe in coming days, I'll show you that video also, and after that I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
Can you just call Ajay ji and ask him?
This was the fest that we had organized. Internal fest. Maybe next
Yes.
year we are expecting a little more.
Yes, I'm sorry, Maheshji. I think that there was some challenge in the WebEx coordinating with the streaming.
Yeah,
of
understood.
the
I'll share the links, YouTube links.
Yes,
right?
please. Huh?
That I
So
can share.
we apologize to the audience and to you for this technical snag here, but we sincerely hope that it will be compensated, duly compensated with the
Yeah.
access to it.
And
Yes.
question from Rameshji. Actually, we need to look at ourselves. That is the basic thing. And I asked a question that, do you know how to breathe? If you start breathing properly, that is the basic fundamental education you have to learn, right? If you start breathing properly, then you will start knowing yourself. That is the basic thing you have to do. Because what we are doing is we are just doing that clavicular breathing system. That is nostril breathing we are doing only. Some people will do something like the thoracic breathing, the chest breathing we call. Actually, the real method of breathing is a belly breath, a big tummy breath. To inhale, your tummy should come up, something like this. We call it as diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing, we say. This is the proper way of breathing. For example, we are not at all aware about how to breathe, how our breathing is happening. When we are aware that when we are awake, when we start sleeping, this will come automatically. You can actually check with the people who are sleeping beside you. They will properly breathe with their tummy. So when you are awake and you are wandering for a lot of knowledges around you through these gadgets and maybe the past world, you forgot how to even breathe. That's the basic fundamental thing. People should be aware. So the basic education should start from how to breathe, because breathe denotes the lifespan. I skipped that point because breathe is the breathe per minute, breath per minute. The concept is breath per minute, which decides your lifespan. As you can just check that a rat with 180 breath per minute lives 2 years, and tortoise, which is having 3 breath per minute, has a lifespan of 250 years. So breathe decides your lifespan, that is health, and breathe controls your mind. So start learning how to breathe is the basic tip that I had to give. The Kalari should have a lot of what do you call it? There are a lot of practices, and we are basically practicing and giving the practice in the base of breathing only. So learn how to breathe. That is the basic tip people should know.
Yeah, Anuradha, that's from my end. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we
Yes.
could compile. If somebody has asked any questions or queries, we could compile and share to Maheshji so that
Yes.
we could answer.
There is, I think, one question there.
Uh-huh.
Anuragji or Shreyasji, could one of you please take it from the chat?
Yes, ma'am. Sir, there is a question from Sheila ji. She asked that Kalari Paya 2 all level can be learned by online trainings or only offline. Please explain.
So we have both online and offline platforms. People will be like, when we start these things, people was wondering how Kalari can be teach through online. It is something like learning swimming through postal, something like that, right? So, but we proved that we have more than 600 students all over the world now. So we systematically created a system to train through online. So there will be one Ashan here to teach, and there will be one demonstrator to show how to practice and all that things. And it will be a 1 hour practice, and very much looking at you personally. They'll be taking care, and the practice will be going on like that. So we started online practice from last 3 years. It is successfully running, so it is there. The only limitation is to what you call, we can't duel on online. So doing kitepur or maybe armed combat or something like that. If there is a pair with them, they can do. Otherwise, we can learn up to the steps, the chuvadigal, or maybe a lot of things we can learn. A lot of people are learning from different parts of the world with us on online platform.
Thank you very much, sir. So now I request to.
Yes, I just have a question, if I may. So, Maheshji, two quick ones from me. So, one was that one of the ideas behind this particular webinar series was also to present the founders of the different yoga-related, well-being traditions.
Yeah.
So we had Charaka with Ayurveda. We had Shri Krishna as a Yogi Raj for the Gita, and then we had Charaka for the Ayurveda last time. This time we've got Agasthyam for Kalari, and then in our next session we'll have Patanjali for the Yoga Sutras, etc. So because we wanted to show that these were people who embodied the knowledge they were transmitting, the thing.
Yeah.
So I was wondering that in this age of the Kali Yoga, can we have an Agasthyam?
See, the people who are immortal, you can say Agasthya or Shankaracharya or maybe Swami Vivekananda or any spiritual being, is living in the minds, not with their physical body. They're always like transmitting the informations gained, or maybe the pure knowledge or pure information that they achieved through enlightenment. Because the word spirituality is misinterpreted actually, because when somebody looks at me when I have beard, so people will be asking me, why, what happened? Something happened to you? So why you are spiritual in this age, like that? So spirituality is the process to attain a higher intellect. What spiritual people are gaining is enlightenment, right? In Sanskrit, we can say it as Jnanodaya. That means achieving the ultimate knowledge or receiving the ultimate knowledge. The ultimate knowledge is the pure knowledge. There are two types of knowledges. One is impure, that is avidya, we say, and pure knowledge is vidya. So getting the pure knowledge means your system has a capacity to receive the entire cosmic knowledge. The all knowledge is inside you. You are a very good gadget than a Google. You can procure all knowledge. And this knowledge, what spiritual leaders had done, they started transmitting this knowledge through a lot of means. That's why we are talking about Agasthya. That's why we are talking about Patanjali. That's why we are talking about Swatma Raman or Yajnavalkyan regarding yoga. So physical body is not a factor. So, and always it happens. It's not a single time process. It's a process. It is happening in all yugas. Something like, what do you call, watching a cinema again and again, something like that. It always occurs. So the process is going on and knowledge is immortal.
Yes, thank you very much for also picking up the point of the cinema, because that's where I was going next.
Okay.
Because you have a wide knowledge, and you're a director yourself. So I was just also we would like to know what is like in today's world for the younger generation, their heroes. A lot of their heroes come out of the movies. So they've got the Spider-Man for the kids, and you've got Rambo and all for the older generations in terms of the kind of person they want to be. So I was wondering, do you have any plans to make an Agasthya movie? And I know you're working on Kalya right now, another blockbuster. So would you like to share with us what your plans are on that?
So anyway, I am now I am in the pre-production of the movie Kaliyan. It's an epic movie that maybe I had mentioned about that Veera Yuga. There were brave peoples who aspire themselves, or their dreams was to become a hero stone. Because when you are going to a war field, getting hit or you can stab on your chest, then you die. That was the dream of our old young generation, maybe. We can see a lot of citations in the Sanka literature, that is Akam Padal, Puram Padal. There are a lot of heroes we can see. Their dreams was to go in war field and get stabbed on their chest plates or something like that. And chest plate means they are fighting and they are dying, right? Something like that. So they should become the hero stones. When somebody is cremated and the hero stone is there, maybe you can Google what is hero stone. You can see that the bravery will be portrayed in that stone. So after some times, what will happen is this stone will become a god. So people aspired and show their bravery, and they will die and they will become god. That was the age. So Kaliyan was something like that. And the pre-production is going on. Maybe October, November, we are going to shoot. We had done a very wonderful audition. A lot of aspiring artists came for that audition. And after that, we are thinking about doing something about Agasthya. So being the martial art guru, there are a lot of possibility about Agasthya, because he is there in Rig Veda, 1500 BC. He is there in epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. He's there in all Tamil literature. He made the Tamil grammar text Agasthya. So he had done a lot of things. I don't think he's a single person. It's something like that we mentioned earlier. It's a continuation. A lot of Agasthyas are there. And we are trying to make a lot of Agasthyas. Maybe in next generation, what we are trying to introduce, and we are dreaming to make a lot of Agasthyas here. So there is a tremendous possibility of making a movie on Agasthya also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are really looking forward to that because I think that has a power to influence mass imagination in a very significant manner.
But I had to finish this thing. This also
yes, sure,
I
sure.
started working from 2011. 10 years. It took 10 years to.
Yes, hopefully you're in the momentum and then this will get done, and then with the success of this, the next one will also get done.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yes.
And
Yes.
waiting for his grace.
Yes. So thank you very much. I'd just like to, it's, I mean, an honor to try and summarize a little bit of what you have presented today. There are just so many points that you picked up, but I think a few that one can take away is the enlightened warrior, the concept of Agasthyam as the enlightened warrior who represents physical force and strength and flexibility on one side, and which cannot happen almost without the accompanying enlightened mind, which is calm, which knows how to manage breath, which has a focus, which has concentration. And the most important idea that you had started off with was this concept of fearlessness. So, how can one be fearlessness? And that is something that Swami Vivekananda also talks about the Upanishads. He says this is one way of looking at life that gives us the possibility of being fearless. Abhihi. He says, Ma abhihi, like don't be afraid. And that's the real message that we also get out of the presentation that you've done, that if one practices Kalari, then it helps to build this integral person who has, just because of the knowledge, the skill that they acquire, and the knowledge of themselves that they've acquired through the practice, they are able to, and they have a certain self-confidence, which basically makes them fearless in the society they would live in. And you also spoke of Agastya's life with all the etymology and showing his vast influence in various countries. And also the etymological roots of the words were very interesting. Uh, one who's fighting ignorance, and on many other levels you talked about how these names were not just something that you called a person with, but also there was the secret of their greatness can be understood by going deeper into the etymology of the words themselves. And then you also helped us appreciate how the Kalari movement, I would say, the Kalari practice traveled the world and has traveled more so eastwards and influenced those nations and made them, evolve related art forms, martial art forms. But the source of it remains at Kerala with the base with the Kalari poet. So wonderful. And also, I think another important part that you mentioned was the medicinal aspect of it, the healing aspect of it. That it's an art form, that it's a martial art form that also helps create an awareness of self-healing. So what we take back from here is really a one-man army. If one understands Kalari really well, and practices, and one is able to embody the different knowledge traditions that are present already in Kalari. It's like a transdisciplinary, skill that one acquires through the practice of Kalari. So if one becomes a warrior of Kalari, one becomes an enlightened warrior of Kalari, then I think, and if we have more of this army that grows in the country, in the world, I think we will be a much more stable society, a much healthier society, and one that can live up, make their lives more meaningful because of the underlying philosophy that is embedded. It's not just to be powerful because one wants to live longer and just keep doing the same old things, but I think there is a deeper purpose in life that it offers us. So thank you very much for enlightening us about both Agasthyam and his contribution, very important contribution to the world through his art form of the martial art form of Kalari. So it was a wonderful talk, and we sincerely hope that the IKS Center that has come up in the Trinity College of Engineering, I hope it's given by the division, Indian Knowledge Systems Division. I sincerely hope that we can really build it can be a center of excellence for Kalari in times to come. and it will attract, it will hopefully become a center that will attract people from all over the world to learn from this tradition and become more healthy, more wise people on the whole. So thank you very much, Dr. Mahesh Gurukulji, for this wonderful presentation. I'd like to hand it over to Shreyas ji and Anurag ji to complete the proceeding.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. With these words, I would like to thank today's main speaker, Dr. Mahesh ji, for giving so much time and for such a vast knowledge to all our publics and to the IKS members. I also thank to Dr. I also thank to Dr. Ramesh ji, advisor of AICT, for giving his time. And also I thank to all our public and technicians who support us to reach to the public through YouTube video. So we'll conclude the
Just once.
Yeah.
Just before the close, I would also like to mention, I'll take this opportunity to mention, I think it's a very auspicious day that the talk has been chosen, because tomorrow you're having the inauguration along with Dr. Arun Surendran ji, is also a PI of this Center for Indian Knowledge Systems at Trinity College of Engineering. The inauguration is happening tomorrow. So we wish the center great success, and yes, a lot of people attracted towards it to make the knowledge grow. Thank you.
Yes. The next webinar of this webinar series will be on 16 June 2022, 11 a.m. at morning, by Dr. Vinay Chandraji. His topic is Human Mind and its Mastery, Patanjali's Insight. तो इसी के साथ आज के इस वेबिनार का समापन करते हैं इस शांति मंत्रों के साथ। हरि ओम। सम समित्युवसे वृषन्यग्ने विश्वान्यर्या इळस्पदे समिध्यसे सनो वसून्याभरा संगच्छध्वं संपदध्वं वो मनांसि जानताम् देवा भागं यथा पूर्वे संजानाना उपासते समानो मंत्रः समीति समानी समानं मनः सह चित्तमेषाम् समानं मन्त्रमभिमन्त्रयेव समानेन वो हविषा जुहोमि समानी व आकूतिः समाना हृदयानि वः समानमस्तु वो मनो यथा वस्सु सहासति सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।